So, Future doing pretty well in general as a Terran player. Also can do a couple of the cheekier things. Maybe like it almost kind of sometimes reminds me of Masa. I guess would be the way I would compare for ease. But you do expect more of the macro game from both these players. Rob was able to show really good macro. I think Rob's always been good, but like you ever call him great? I know it's a bit of a question mark. And his most recent loss against Future was, I think, in April. He got 3-0'd by him. But I do feel like in those 4 months, 5 months, because I can do math, I feel like Rob's actually gotten better. Or maybe it was just a fluke in the qualifiers. I don't know. But he looked really clean. So I think this should be different from history. It's already a bit different with a proxy pylon going down.
Hey, isn't this group on the side of the screen crazy when you really look at it? It's like Estrella, Asuna, then Nina, then Future. Like, okay, some like top NA names there. You look at the bottom, it's like Massa and TLO are 6 and 7. So it's like, and really, like, this group's like ridiculous the way it's ordered right now.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, group B.
Asuna doing what he did just now, 2-0ing Australia, is actually just insane.
Yeah,
really upset a lot of predictions. A lot of plans here have been moved around.
Today's just like, do you have any logical decisions to make when you're picking like favorites in games? Well, forget about them. Like, this is just like, don't hold back. What day is it? Thursday? Okay, I don't know what day it is, so I can't make a joke. But yeah.
Well, for you, it's, I guess, Friday. So.
Just ticked it over to Friday. 11 minutes of Friday.
There you go. So, he saw that it was a one-base Protoss, so that's why Future is checking around so insistently. In an ideal world, Future doesn't feel the need to scout at all, and is only just now with his Reaper seeing the lack of natural nexus. Less ideal is this, and that is the Reaper finding the Stargate, but not a point where he could cancel it, or stop the Oracle from making. Rob could still come out of this okay, but it's really not the best scenario. That's interesting. Future didn't go for a command center. He's going to go for the one base build.
Yeah, this is so nice against what Rob's doing as well, right? One base against one base, I think always prefers Terran player because it just the power to be able to shut down the one base of the Protoss is just really there, and the counter attack is generally stronger for the Terran player too. So I really like this Future.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I didn't realize. I just kind of assumed he was going to go for an expand, and I was like, wait a second, nothing's down there. That's maybe also what Robbie would have expected. So he's finally getting his scout. It is going to be a Void Ray pressure. So we saw something like this ended in a very odd way. So I don't think it's going to happen again. Go back and watch Clem versus Geralt. But this, hey, it's still something a little bit new and a little bit better than before. It even was tried. Adept's actually getting to the main base. That's kind of a problem.
This is, there's nothing nearby until this Cyclone pops up. But that's a Cyclone that's not locked onto the Void Ray, right? So... you kill an Adept, but the Void Ray just sits there, kills the second depot. Future is prepared for it, though. Not even close to a supply block. His first Viking on the way out, but there's already 2 Voids. You've got to really babysit these units, because the moment the Void Ray Prismatic lines on top of a Viking or a Cyclone, they're going to go down. The Void Ray is actually on top of you right now. Oh my god, if he turns around for the Viking, he's chasing the Cyclone, which is going to be nice.
Oh my god!
Void Ray, he's going to lose a second!
Oh, he missed my Okay, well, that might just be it. So, one thing that was really important that happened there was that the second Void Ray might have caught up to the Cyclone fast enough to maybe, temporarily save the second Void Ray, but he was prismatically aligned. So, that was supposed to be the first Void Ray killed the Cyclone, the prismatically aligned Void Ray killed the Viking. That would have been the absolute perfect scenario. And instead, it went very sideways, very fast. Plus, there's a bunch of Marines still alive dealing that damage. Rob's going to try and macro out of this, but... Void Rays are cheaper. I don't know if they're that cheap.
Yeah, so a couple of Vikings with a Cyclone going to move out the front. And this is the problem, right? Rob just loses so much power. What do you really do now? You have no real busting power. This army looks kind of pathetic running up this ramp, right? As Cyclone's locked on. If he's got a scan, I guess it wouldn't matter. The Cyclone wouldn't have reached, but... a couple of Voids are just a couple of Vikings gonna go chase that Void Ray down, and that ain't gonna be fun either.
It is still very awkward, though. It's a very awkward game. So, Future has been spending time defending and while saving his units, so it's still pretty good for him. But he's not expanded. Robbie might think, okay, if I can just hold, I can actually win this out. But well, the natural nexus looks great, looks fantastic. He's actually really mining quite well. what are the actual armies at play here? 3 Vikings, 2 Cyclones, a tank against Robbie's 2 Void Rays, and a handful of those ground units. I like what Robbie's doing, moving out to try and meet this, maybe catch a Cyclone off guard. I think that's great. It could also backfire on him. Gotta be careful.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what you do is Rob to stop this attack right now. Void Rays counterattacking is probably the best thing you can do to slow it down a bit, but then it doesn't really save you, right? Like, maybe you do some damage, but the sentry suicide is like, I can force field these units away. The Stalker's like, no, you can't, bro. Like, force field ain't gonna cut it. There's missile turrets everywhere, zombie grub. The Void Rays have made it in fairness.
They did, but severely injured, and now they're not helping back here. Maybe he was planning on recalling, but now they would just probably die before they got any action. Oh, the pylon went down, so these 2 shield batteries are completely useless in future. Excellent handling of the situation, but also mistakes made. Some mistakes were made. Multiple mistakes were made.
A lot of Stalkers. It's just there's so much terror. Oh, future looking good to just push on through and take a first game of this series. I mean, these probes are going to pull in to see what they can do. Vikings are going to re-land. I mean, the Vikings are great against everything right now. Bonus versus probes, bonus versus Stalkers. GG is called. And I mean, this all comes back to those first 2 Void Rays that just go down. That's obviously disastrous. You lose so much of the power of your build from that point on. And I can appreciate the attempt to recover and expand and all of that, but it's not going to work when you've barely killed anything against Future, who knows exactly how to come across the map and punish it afterwards.
Right. The first 2 Void Rays going down is just something that you're supposed to kind of lose after that. I will say that if you had taken into account, like, maybe the 2 Void Rays don't die, or the 2 Void Rays he had in the main base weren't in the main base, like, the final fight wasn't as one-sided as I thought it was going to be. That was a decent number of stalkers with Blink, that if maybe the Void Rays had recalled with full health when Future moved up the ramp, maybe he forgets they're there, he lands the Vikings, they take out the tanks, they take out the Vikings, like, it looked closer than I thought it would have, but it makes a lot of sense that Future was able to close that one out in his favor.
All right, well, next game coming up, we're going to go into the beautiful city of Everdream. As, yeah, I mean, to be fair, I wanted a little bit more about how these guys are going to play, and that game doesn't really tell me anything about it, right? You know, Future goes 1 base,
No.
Rob goes 1 base, so hoping for something a little bit longer where we kind of expand each. Maybe Rob plays a Blink opener and kind of see where we get to there.
Yeah. Rob was playing some fantastic Blink openers, macro games on his way here. And while Future, I said, like, could be, you know, this more macro, I am not at all surprised that he went for a 1 base build, especially in the situation he found himself in. Both because I think he can do 1 base builds. He could even do it on Everdream if he really wanted to. But then also, I would not be surprised, Wardy, if there are a ton of proxy Void Race builds happening on the ladder right now. And he was also a little bit prepared for that. But we're here now on Everdream. In the top right, down 1, he is Roots Robbie.
Bottom left-hand side from Alpha X, we've got Future.
Alrighty, right. I respected the attempt, just like I respected it when Geralt went for the Void Ray. Difference is that worked in some miracle way. I'm not gonna get over that one. But Robbie not able to make that one work. Might just go back to good old standard. I think he has to be very on point with scouting Future, though. I don't know about the 1 base build again, but Future, I think, is certainly capable of doing the 2 base tank attacks that I felt for a while almost felt overpowered. You know, like kind of before last season, I want to say. I was just like, oh, these are so powerful. And they kind of got figured out. You know, Roddy had this whole rant about why not go charge first, because they're always going to do that attack. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then they kind of fell off. I would pin Future as a guy to do that. Oh, no.
No. All right.
No.
Next series, we move on?
Yeah, it just game over. Just move on.
You know what, mentally, I always break down when I lose a worker to a worker. I'm just like, why am I so bad? And then I look at my ladder and I'm like, well, that's why. Like, yeah, I get it, game. You don't have to remind me. Yeah, it's a feels bad moment, for sure.
Yeah. No, it sucks. It's like, overall, it doesn't really impact, perhaps. Although, not having the probe to scout if there's a second supply depot or not is kind of scary. It is overall usually not too big of a deal. It just feels terrible after you lost a game, and not in exactly in a brilliant fashion. You didn't lose with I guess a bit of dignity. It was kind of went by the
He didn't lose. He just got slaughtered. Like he shouldn't even think about that game again. Like damn.
Well, when you try to go void rays and they don't work out, I mean, I guess I'm just extra harsh.
I mean, I get it. You have no respect for anyone that goes void rays.
I
when
really
they
don't.
fail so bad.
Why even?
That's funny because you loved the void rays earlier, zombie bro. I mean, you're just going one way then the other today.
Oh, do I even have true opinions? Do I just listen to chat? Do I just always copy my co-caster? I think I do.
Well, this bunker gets up, and obviously the Reaper can just wait until it's regened a little bit to actually go into the bunker, so he should be able to get in. Just needs to dodge a little longer. That was too risky. Oh my god, he made it.
Oh, this is
bad.
This is
I mean,
great.
now you can't mine off the natural until the shield battery is done, and even then, one battery when you've gone double adept opener. I don't think that's actually going to last that long because the adepts just will not break through this. So, yeah, not ideal.
Less than ideal, absolutely. 2 adepts, it sucks. Shield battery was not placed down as fast as it could have been if you had, actually been paranoid they're going to do this. Kind of came by later when he thought, oh, maybe I can handle it.
Oh, the probe. Wow.
And future is
salvage the
doing
bunker
a
and
favor.
go for the main. Oh, future stop. He's already dead. Oh,
Hard.
now you're Reaper's dead. Now, this is obviously brutal, though, right? Because everything's gone wrong. You've lost a couple of probes. You're forced into a shield battery. You've built a Stargate, and now you're going to build a Void Ray. I feel like that's an order loss. I don't...
Oh
look,
God.
the Void Ray is really interesting, right? It's definitely not the norm. It's very offbeat. Anything you really think we're seeing from that? It's just a bit of a push in the end, I guess.
I don't get it. Like I understand the first game because that seems to be a thing. That was what everyone said it was going to be,
Yeah.
but a second game for Void Ray. This wasn't how I expected Robbie to play. It's not the Rob I was talking about from the qualifiers either. I'm like, unless I just had a huge gap in memory. Now this is him experimenting with some new stuff that might have worked in the past. Usually that's why they do it, right? It might look silly now, but it turns out that they were, 5-0 and Terrans on the ladder, future included. But definitely not working right now. Don't think this Void Ray is going to add a whole lot.
Yeah.
And what do you do with a Void Ray in this matchup, in this situation?
I've got no idea. He's going to build another one, so... Is he going to just build a Warp Prism and then just go with like a Void Ray gate attack? Nope, he's going to build a third base. In that case, I've got even less idea what's going to happen.
I feel like I've seen a game like this before, but then I realized it was my own game when I was kind of trolling on ladder a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think my games are equivalent. I don't know, man. These Void Rays, it's fine when we think about, okay, if they're stacked up in proxy, maybe they swoop in and like cancel stim, right? Like, that'd be so sick, but they're not anywhere. They're just like defensive Void Rays. And I don't even mind one, honestly. We kind of saw that in the past. Remember when like one Void Ray was made versus Terran to snipe medevacs that were floating in? They could prismatically line and kill them even faster, but there's a reason that stopped. And while they are cheaper, I still don't think you go into it. He's even going to dedicate to a +1 weapons for them? What? Where do you explain?
I've got nothing. I'm just like... I'm trying to do the math or something, girl. I'm trying to like, if you have 5 Void Rays and they run into Stim Marines, so they still all die, it's like, yeah, they do. I'm like, oh, okay, well... I just really don't. I mean, never mind that. This combat shield push is already deadly, right? Are these voids gonna save the day?
Well, the shield batteries and then the adept jumping on top of that tank, maybe? I was not really waiting for it. Shield battery is gonna immediately overcharge, and this is what a future did not expect.
Well,
there you go.
Void Rays.
This ain't so bad.
Yeah, this ain't so bad, but like, if Future just says, "Oh, you've got Void Rays, I'm just gonna go home and like build an army," like, I mean, he doesn't need to fight here. There's so many shield batteries. What is he doing? He's not doing the right thing. I just don't understand why you fight that. Like, I feel like you see the Void is like, right, I'm not prepared to fight Void Rays, right? Like, and he's got a super battery and 2 batteries behind it, and then he not only fights the super battery, he backs away, but then he re-engages. Like, he's so desperate to deal damage. I think you can just start stim, drop a third, and your opponent's going to do what? Run across the map with 4 Void Rays? I mean, then you've got Marine production to defend. Without a shield battery, those Voids are going to die. So I just don't agree with the commitment to force a fight there. Like, I just feel like that was so much more force than it needed to be.
Oh, I agree with you.
I mean, like, look at this, right? Like, right now, 2 Vikings and a Cyclone are basically soloing the Void Rays. Like, this is what happens if you just don't fight next to, like, 4 shield batteries.
Right, man. The shield batteries were absolutely part of the solution there. I think what happened was that Future saw Void Rays. Like, literally,
Yeah.
they're just like, oh, I know if they're away from the
Yeah, I got
shield
this.
batteries, and maybe thought there was only 2 and not 3 shield batteries, that type of thing. Well, they'd go down very fast once you really get under them. So I think that's what the Future was thinking. As it stands, as you just jokingly pointed out, but it was pretty true, these Void Rays still aren't really even up to the task on reduced unit fights. I mean, oh my god, he's going to Mike.
Oh, Zombie Group have been live for like 8 hours and we're watching Void Rays micro against Marines. Like, I'm just like out of words, honestly. What the hell is happening? He's built extra Stargates to make more Void Rays. He's gonna play Void Ray Colossus? Like, never seen it.
Please.
Disruptors, you think? I actually think Void Ray Colossus might actually be a...
I think you're right. I think it's all the way back to 2010, you know?
Yeah? Oh my god.
But I would love to see some disruptors as well.
This cast has gone on for so long, we've actually gone back in time. The
Oh
years
my
have
god.
gone back. Like,
Idra just appears and just starts slamming desks and being like, this is an OP race.
you know what?
Bullshit.
I'm convinced I'm dreaming now. There's no way. We're watching Void Ray Colossus in 2020 and Kang just beat Scarlet. Like, is this how StarCraft ends? Like, it makes no sense. The timeline, surely no. SCVs are being pulled.
Oh my god. He's on 3 bases. He's pulling the SCVs against this. What?
I mean, I don't actually hate that. There's not a lot on the ground, right? If you stim in and kill the Marines, still kill the Voids, the biggest issue is absolutely going to be the Colossus, but 1 Colossus with the SCVs to tank, then I actually believe in it. He's going to take his time to fight down these rocks. Obviously, you have to fight near a battery as Rob.
Dude, he's buying so much time.
Yeah, but he's out of force fields now.
Twice the amount of... Well, no, well, maybe not engage now.
No.
I don't know about this. I don't know about this. Get more Zealots, get the shield batteries.
Yeah, oh my god, the Zealots have charged as well. The Zealots die pretty quick, though. They don't have an armor upgrade. Super battery.
I don't know if the super is really going to help.
Well, now you can move away from the super battery and fight the 3rd base, which is actually just full of batteries as well. It's just Battery City, apparently. What's happening? The Colossus needs to go down to the tanks, which they are targeting. It's won the game, hasn't it?
It has.
Futures just lost the game to Void.
What?
You know what I love? I just love how Rob he's just like, yeah, of course I just won the game by massing a bunch of Void Rays against a Terran player. Like, this happens every day.
Clearly, all right. Now I have to just accept that Void Rays are good. This day has changed me. Apparently Void Rays are good. And I guess we're gonna find out if Ravi does more Void Rays after this break. Void Rays aren't good. They're good at making people think they're bad, so they attack into 10 shield batteries. Thank you, chat. That is an excellent analysis of that last game. Future says, just Void Rays, I can deal with that, and then attacks into 3 shield batteries. Welcome back. It's game 3 coming in here. Can Robbie do the Void Ray thing again? Good question mark.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's kind of true, because I think Future just believes he can kill the Voids. Is it the Voids that are good, or just underestimating the Super Battery even, right? Like, Super Battery will save anything, and then Voids actually do have a chance to trade with Marines for once in their lifetime, so that's the combo I've never really seen. Like, Super Battery Void Rays, like, defensively, it's just not really a thing, right? So, yeah. A wild one is in the top right-hand side. Mr. Void Ray himself from Root Gaming, it's raw.
In the bottom left, as the blue Terran, he is a Future. Ay. Rob showing the new strats, making them work. That's awesome. That's awesome. But I can't help believe it only works once or twice. Future knows the mistake he made. He's gotta know. Just like, okay, don't attack in those shield batteries. First of all, you know.
I mean, it's 100%. You just go home, you see Void Rays, you're like, cool. His army composition sucks. Like, let me just go build a larger army. Like, those are the scenarios where Void Rays work really well, right? When it's like, they do just kind of overpower, because it's quite a powerful unit, right? And so all at once, they just kind of overpower a smaller push. It's kind of like if you show up there and imagine there's like 2 Colossi. You don't fight it, right? Like, you're going to die. So, but then you can just go home, you build a larger army, you come again later. The difference if you come again later against 2 Colossi, there's more Colossi, and that's a good composition. But against more Void Rays, then I'm not as convinced. So, yeah, really, really interesting game. I mean, obviously, again, it works out. And credit to Robbie, he pulled it out, he believed in it, and he made it work. So, hell yeah. If he wins again with Void Rays, I'm a Rob fan for life.
There you go. It would also be pretty neat from the show, just like some regular PvT, I guess. Because I think he does have very good, like, just regular Blink Stalker opener positioning that he could play. But if those Void Rays are really the future, then all right, this is our guide. Robbie is our guide. We've seen it with Cheese. We've seen it against Zerg, which just makes more sense. But to be the future, you must work in all matchups, Wardy. And PvT is the only one left to be tested. So Robbie's a tester. Kind of want to see it now. I actually do. I know I take it back. I kind of want to see the Void Rays.
This probe dies spamming stop signs.
Oh, Rob.
Oh, just to cap off everything that's happening today, huh? All right, let's see it. Stargate, let's go.
Let's do it. Let's go. He's going to show how the Void Ray
like
proxy was supposed to work.
It's like he drops the robo and says, I'm not doing a Stargate again. It's got to be Stargate, right?
Nice.
Nothing else that really comes off an expansion.
Nice. So this is, I guess, what's going to show us kind of what the first game was supposed to have happen. But of course, keep in mind, this is also on 2 bases for both players. So may actually just be, I should say it could just be an Oracle. But if it isn't, if it is a Void Ray, then we get to see how it works, which is lovely. Future is going to be scouting around for something. He saw actually just a natural nexus and a pylon, but he's not going to find it. He's not going to find the gateway either.
Yeah, he's a bit clueless at the moment, so this is obviously going to be like the push that's powered up by Voids, right? I like it. You know, I like Voids in this situation. I love Voids in this situation. I think attacks like this, that isn't just like the typical, oh, I'm going to 1 base Stargate proxy you. I think these are really cool because it's tough to judge as Future what you need, how many, you know, when do you have to pull SCVs? Do you need a second bunker and stuff? So I like attacks like this a lot. I think this is a really cool setup, and obviously Future is very blind right now as to what's going on, so he has no idea. A Raven? I mean, that's going to drop an auto turret and die. Like, it's not very useful at the moment.
No, it is not.
Oh my god, it's going to be shield batteries.
Oh my god, he's going to do it.
Oh, the
So
scout,
a
though.
pretty good scout to that main. That sees nothing. It sees a second gateway. This is alarm bells ringing. He thought Robbie's going to do something. He was like, maybe not. Now he knows, yes, something is happening. But what? I mean, yeah, he went Void Rays the last 2 games, so it's likely he does it again. But this could have also been, I don't know, like charge lots. Twilight Council's hidden somewhere, and it's a bunch of charges about to appear. It is shield batteries, but Robbie, I think he was a little too eager. That was a little too forward. Oh, missed opportunity perhaps.
Yeah.
If he had not put that probe there.
Yeah, good Marine spotting forward, like in front of the bunker, so he actually had that little bit of extra vision. He takes that pylon down. I mean, now he's like, well, I've checked the left side. You're coming in from the right. That's probably where you're going to bring the rest of the units in from. And here are the Void Rays. You know what? There's only one bunker at the front. If you just pop the Void Rays right away against 4 Marines in the bunker, you don't just kill this bunker. Like, the SCVs pulling to fight this. Oh, they're just going to get there to repair. The first Void Ray goes down. The Adepts have shaded through, so they're stuck. And he's fighting an Auditor, which is actually doing way more damage than it ever should have really done. He's going to try and get into range, but the bunker's just so good, and this didn't quite go as expected.
No, that was a bit of a disaster right there. I think I don't know if his plan was originally attack the bunker, honestly. I think he was like, oh, maybe I could. You know, kind of like you said it. But I feel like this was more what he was supposed to be doing. Kind of harassing and taking opportunities where he can find them and then threatening with the Adepts. So that's unfortunate. I'm down a Void Ray. This other Void Ray is very, very weak. And, well, maybe shield batteries do still get up, but let's see if they really are the kicker here. That's really going to make it work.
Yeah, a couple extra batteries coming in. Marines pushing forward. Voids have to back away, and then take off one more Marine as we have a bit of continued back and forth here. So, as another Void comes into play, I mean, maybe now he can actually bust this low ground bunker down. One of the Void Rays isn't prismatically aligned. He will get the bunker, though. All the turret shouldn't last long. I mean, with all the batteries, this attack just goes and goes and goes, but you're now fighting against stimmed bio, and that's obviously, to me, like, generically just a counter to what's here. The fact that he's gotten up to stim is kind of meant to be the harder part of this.
There's quite a lot of units now. It's not just about the Void Rays, although those grenades aren't very powerful. They do have shield batteries to fall back to. The Commencer actually goes down. The Sparrow was too late. He's going to attack into 6 shield batteries almost. The Stalkers are even taking most of the force here. That's going to drain all the batteries, but Future is going to clean this up. And now what does Robbie do? He just angered the Terran and did not really take down a lot of the army.
Yeah, see, this is my immediate issue every time he stops 5-6 shield batteries back at home. This is my issue every time, right? Like, this Bioforce is designed to win fights against the units that Robbie has at the moment. There's no doubt about it. And when powers a gateway as he goes across the map, he starts a forge because he wants to build defensive cannons. Like, that's how desperate he is just to hold on at the moment. I mean, obviously with the SCVs coming across as well, there's a lot of pushing power from Future. Sentry to buy a bit of time will force the rocks to go down. Can you buy enough time? There'll be a super battery as well. I'm not 100% convinced, honestly, ZG, that there's a defense here, but I'm happy for Robbie to prove me wrong.
Would love to cut off some of these units, but doesn't get the chance. Another Sentry Force Field's going to go down. Robbie's going to be able to buy a lot of time. But while he might have the superior economy, I don't know how long it's going to take to get an actual good army. is the problem. It's going to have, you know, gateway units with no blink, no charge, no upgrades. Although he's finally adding on that production, so he will have gateway units. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Future thinks about loading up, but then maybe realizing that if the Void Rays catch him, he could instantly lose his entire army. So he just backs away and then starts up a natural. I don't know. Does Future win because you know it's a matter of time before he gets his economy back, or does Robbie win because he has so much time to build an actual army now?
Yeah, I think Future's okay, right? Because the way I look at this is Future's army is better right now. You know, this army of Robbie is just terrible, right? Like, it's 7 Stalkers with no blink, 5 Sentries, and a couple Voids. All the money he invested into shield batteries, that's all money that obviously has kind of gone to waste because it's not really necessary at the moment. So I think that's the big thing. Because Future just forced out so much, I think he can just get back in this. Because he's going to finish this command center. He's going to be 4 SCVs behind. I think he's okay.
It's a weird one, but I think you're right. I think it took so long for Robbie to both get get his production underway, get his upgrades, which still aren't here, obviously, and replace his army. Compared to Future just replacing his economy, it was a bigger ask for Robbie than it was for Future. Although it's usually pretty catastrophic to lose your natural. Robbie's gonna have to cancel this Nexus, but he can. He's going into Disruptors, which I absolutely love, but I also wouldn't mind Colossus early. Don't.
Yeah. Either or right now is he can't fight this. Oh my god, the EMP just hits like every single sentry and the Void Rays. Oh, he's got another EMP which he dropped at the front. I wouldn't have minded him EMPing just the shield batteries, you know, like the back ones. You wanted to push in. I wonder if he's just happy having denied the third. But now disruptors get up, and if there's a way back in, it's probably via disruptors.
Absolutely. And his Twilight Council's done, so we could add on Blink or I'm gonna guess Blink. Even, hey, throw in Dark Shrine or maybe even Charge Lots would be the good thing to go for. This game is certainly still interesting, almost in a weird way stabilizing. You're gonna have a Blink Protoss on 3 bases going into Disruptors, which is odd against a slower building third base Terran. I assume Future would go to a third base. I guess he could just lift his main, right?
Lift the main, right? It's just mined out already. Shadow, he's gonna pull some SCVs and just go. But he starts to +1 armor, which sort of suggests against that. I guess you just lift the main, like when another patch runs out or thereabouts.
Mm-hmm. I was like, maybe also 2 base all-ins. You just pull the SCVs. I was kind of with that train of thought as well, but with +1 armor, that shouldn't be the case. So yeah, just lift the main command center. 2 disruptors are out. Force fields have been accrued again. And, well, those tanks are still a bit of a bother. That's going to be now 4 disruptors that could try and go towards the army. They could try and get those tanks done too, but without anything really protecting them, this is really difficult.
Gonna build the base back at home, by the way, but a couple zealots just showed up to try and slow that down. The thing is, as long as you deny the third of the Protoss again, I think it's just like, it doesn't really matter what you do. You're just okay anyway. Because the Protoss army right now is like, it's decent, but the Terran army is just better. And the Terran, if you deny a third, you're going to get your third. I think Fitch's in a fine spot. He scans and he sees this army's leaving, so he's kind of like, well, where are you going? He doesn't take the opportunity to get into position, though. But now this turns into maybe a base trade. If Future doesn't strike, then Rory maybe gets the heads up. He's going to find some units.
I don't know if he saw the probes as well. He might have. Unfortunately, these Stalkers don't have Blink, although they do have +1, so might have been able to save a few more of those in this weird base trade that apparently is going to happen. Yes, it is. Disruptors are on the way back at home, but not anywhere close to being done. This one not going to get a shot.
Yeah, that one could have fired a bit sooner, though, right? If he'd fired when he was running up the ramp, that could have been big. Well, here we go, full-on base trade mode. I mean, the big news is that Robbie already killed a lot of the reinforcements of Future, so that's actually good. It should mean there's less in the main to deal with. Oh my god. There's 3 tanks at... yeah.
That's
wow.
Not good.
That was my first time looking back in the Terran space. How about
Right? I was going to get 3 tanks.
Yeah, that's... Okay, well, now I hate the base trade from Rob now that I've looked at it. How is he meant to know?
Yeah, he didn't know. He had no scouting on the other side of the map. Had he stayed at home, maybe he eventually grabs that 3rd base, but... And I do, like, hindsight 2020, it is the better option. He could have stayed at home, gotten his 3rd base eventually, and then maybe used this Dark Shrine to really get the harassment going, but he never really got to do that. Never had the prime disruptor shot he was looking for either. He's actually tucked into a corner. Disruptors get no shots, and that is going to be it.
GG's, huh?